to The Meet Cute, where we talk all things romantic comedy, but mostly the bad ones. I'm Haley.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Eddie, the guy.
Oh, we're so happy to have you here, Eddie the guy.
I'm a new character, Eddie the guy.
So, we're gonna jump right into it, guys, right?
We are halfway through the McConaughssaince.
So we are all right, all.
Hell yeah, that's what we are.
That's
Yeah.
that's
on,
it.
We
on the
are
big meter that we paid a
alright.
lot of money for to have installed on the wall. The clock is currently at all. And it's been quite a ride. We've learned a lot. We've lost a lot. And
Lost more than we've learned.
we've lost almost everything.
We've lost so much. You can donate to our Patreon whenever you want to.
We don't have one set up yet.
I like how you said yet. Like, please. We need something.
Once we get enough internet back, we will. But for now, we really have nothing. So we've got one for you this week. It's a hot one.
This is 2006's Failure to Launch, starring Matthew McConaughey and Sarah Jessica Parker, two actors my mom hates.
So Maria, this one's for you.
Whoa!
I just want to point out from the get-go that did you guys know that Sarah Jessica Parker was married to Robert Downey Jr.
What?
for 7 years?
I feel like I knew that. I did not know 7 years. That's a while.
That's a long time for a Hollywood
was this,
marriage.
Ended during his jail time. Is that
Maybe
why
it was 84 to 91, and I don't know for sure, but I think the 80s was his kind of wild child
I
phase.
think so. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it was right in there. The things you learn. Now she's married to Matthew Broderick, who one could argue is the opposite of Robert
Yes.
Downey Jr.
Whereas one is a cool Muppet, the other is a
Robert Downey Jr.
So before we go into the movie, which we are going to be watching alongside you listening, ooh la la.
It's a hot take.
It's a hot take. That's what it means. No soundbite today. Unless you guys think of one.
It's
hot.
I hate you guys.
Can we just hear that one more time?
Sure.
It's
Hot.
I hate you guys.
No,
what did I say? That's so mean.
You did it. Soundbite.
It's been recorded.
Yeah.
It's in the soundbite.
You guys are shut up. I've had this article pulled up every time we've done a McConaughey episode, and I have yet to talk about it because I think McConaughey's relationships with rom-com is so interesting because I had heard that he had said that doing rom-coms, that acting in rom-coms is harder than any dramatic role. And I wanted to find where that came from. And it came from this long-ass article where he talked about how his agent at one point after this time said no to rom-coms. He was like, no more. And then he was like not in anything for a while because he wouldn't, no one would take him. Because his agent was like, don't you dare do a rom-com. And he was like, okay.
Known for rom-com.
And then he wasn't acting for a long time. But I just wanted to read his little quotey quote, even though some of it makes no sense because he's Matthew McConaughey. I'll do it in his voice. He says, you know the story.
what?
No. It's in his voice.
Boy meets girl, we break up in the middle. Boy chases her down at the end and meets her on a bridge or a moped. But you want to enjoy who you go there with, the male and the female.
What?
Exactly. He stops making sense.
He didn't start making sense.
Boys,
says-
girls, mopeds.
He says of why it's harder. He says, rom-coms, they are thin by design. You come in on a cloud and you skip from cloud to cloud, and if you drop an anchor in a romantic comedy, you will sink the ship. If it's a scene where boy meets girl and I get really mad for a second, cut. You can't get mad because we won't believe you can make it back. That's how it goes. No. What's easier about a drama is that with every question, you can hang your hat on what would this character humanly do. You're looking for reality all the time. You don't go pining for reality in a rom-com. You're supposed to stay up there and bounce. What?
He might be the most brilliant man that we've ever had on this planet.
Can I tack on one more fact?
Yeah.
I read about him. He and Woody Harrelson are good friends. And I think this really just adds to this whatever he said. They have their own lingo, and their phrase for hanging out is teeing up for a lollygag.
What?
And I think more people should use that.
That's nice. I'm going to keep going.
Oh, there's more?
After making enough movies in this vein, McConaughey inevitably grew bored. The ceiling and the basement of your emotion. How much pain can I feel? How happy can I be? How loud can I laugh? That's designed to be a very thin wavelength, much closer together. The same script, same words with a $5 million offer is so much better written than the one with the $1 million offer.
Alpha.
Oh. My.
So, yeah, the money was real good, and he said it's challenging to be good in a rom-com because rom-coms are bad, was basically, I think, what he was saying.
Is he a genius?
No, I think he's so stupid.
Is he the smartest, most profound man of our time?
I like that in it he says, like, oh, you know, you could totally trash a rom-com take if you're, like, doing a meet-cute scene and you get mad. I'm like, why would you get mad?
Anything can make you. They don't have the little donuts you like at craft services that morning.
Acting is reacting.
That'll make me. Most of my anger stems around donuts.
Donut related.
Yeah.
I hate acting.
Haley and I went to a restaurant recently.
Yes, let's
and
talk.
The donut is a well-known restaurant.
You told me about this.
This was insane.
Tell them what we were promised.
We were promised a lot of things. Almost everything on the menu when it came out was different than the description. But the donut ahead of time was supposed to be a lime glazed donut with like a mango
And it's supposed to be chocolate.
cream. No, I'm getting there.
Oh.
Lime glazed with a mango cream and like chilies. And I was like, cool, fucking fancy donut. Let's rock this. It sounded so good to share at the end of a lovely meal. We get there, and the donut on the menu is a vanilla and chocolate glazed donut with Thai spiced peanuts and homemade grape jam. And we said, okay, it's not quite what we wanted, but it still sounds good. Let's do it. We got it. It was a plain ass, just regular donut, no glaze, with peanut butter, like plopped on either side, like plain, dry, roasted peanut butter, and a big jam of big like dollop of what it may as well have been like Smuckers in the middle. It sucked.
And so now let's try and do our meet cute scene and see if you can hold it together. Do bump. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't see you there.
Just put what it is on the menu.
Cut.
So I get it. I see. It's hard.
Anyway.
That was a true story about donuts. We're going to watch the first half an hour or so of this film.
I haven't
Did
talked
we
about
talk
it yet. Stop getting ahead of yourself.
Did we say the title?
We did say that.
Okay, at least
Yeah, but
there's that.
that's it. Anyway, Failure to Launch, 2006. Directed by Tom Day, who has written nothing. Directed nothing, I guess. Never mind. Stars Matthew McConaughey, Sarah Jessica PARKOUR. Also, fun stuff. Supporting cast. Who did we see so far? Kathy Bates,
Bradley Cooper.
Zooey Deschanel.
Justin Bartha, Terry
Bradshaw.
Is that it?
Oh, are we forgetting someone? No, I almost said Zooey Deschanel again.
Right.
Zooey Deschanel.
Kathy Bates.
Bradley Cooper.
A Mockingbird.
Blonde Bates.
Oh, I wish it were blonde Bates.
It's brown Bates this time.
Yeah.
Not as
Brunette
fun.
Bates.
Brunette Bates.
Okay, we're going to go watch the first half hour of this movie. Goodbye. This is a hot take. Failure to Launch.
It's
Ha.
Ha! All right, we are back. We watched the first half hour of Failure to Launch, and so far it's bad.
Bad.
weird pacing.
Really
Yeah.
weird. It's an hour and a half, and already most of what I think is the plot has happened,
Yeah,
and we're only a half an hour in.
right. So Matthew McConaughey is a guy named Trip, first off. His name's Trip. Boo.
Short for tryptophan. Because he's putting me to sleep.
Oh, baby.
Ooh. He's on a date with a blonde girl who smells like the entire perfume department, I assume. And she's like, "Oh, I like you. Let's go to your house and do it." And he takes her, and they're doing it. And then In walks in Terry Bradshaw.
Coach Terry Bradshaw.
And he's like, "What's up, Trippy?" And he's like, "Oh my goodness, I was just porking this girl." Sorry, that was disgusting.
That may as well be the dialogue.
It's just they said whatever they wanted.
It's not like it's elevated compared to that. It's all stupid.
And the blonde perfume department girl is like, "You live with your parents?"
She was so mad.
So
that he lived
She
with his
pulled a
Bad.
gun out of her purse and was like, "Do you believe in God?" It was fucked up.
So yeah, most of the plot.
So we find out Matthew McConaughey lives with his parents, who are Kathy Bates and Terry Bradshaw, who did this on purpose to try and get Tripp to move out, basically. Apparently they've been doing this with lots of girls he's been bringing over, where they like burst in and like create a distraction. So then he'll be like, "I can't take this anymore. I can't bring girls over here to fuck." So we know that they want him out. And then we meet his friends.
Justin Bartha and Bradley Cooper. And guess what? They all live with their parents.
They do.
And they might be like some of the worst friends we've encountered in the movie so far. They're horrible.
They're all bad.
And it's just, first off, we have 3 guys living at home. That's
Right.
a lot for a movie.
They're very proud of it. And they aren't different enough
Yeah.
for us to
Bradley
like
Cooper
any
is
of them.
supposed to be a
little more
flight
nature-y
attendant or a
than-
pilot or something.
I don't know.
I think that's what they said, because they were like, "You travel a lot. You fuck ladies from different places." And then in a later scene where all of the parents, I guess, in this like support group of, as you said, this support group of parents whose kids live in their house were saying, "My kid's a pilot, though." So it's like, it'd be crazy if he lived anywhere.
What's weird is like Kathy Bates and Terry Bradshaw, they go hang out with their friends who are all like parents of kids who still live at home. So it's like a club. But what's weird is that like I don't think this world exists where like obviously there are a lot of places where adults live with their parents.
Right.
But I think that if it were like a community where so many live with their
not
parents,
enough in one area.
it would be
yeah.
accepted because that would be like the norm. It's too weird to be a thing where they're all happen to live there and be like, "We
Right.
want our kids to move out." It would either be like part of the community that they live with them, or it wouldn't exist.
Right.
So it's
Or they should have been like, here's our annual. We're driving and meeting at different points in the state. We're all just meeting in this one area.
Yeah.
for barbecue.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Pause. Did you happen to catch the names of Bradley Cooper and Justin Bartha in this movie?
Is it Justin and Bradley?
Nope.
Is it Drip and Crip?
Not much better. Bradley Cooper plays Demo. And Justin Bartha plays a guy named Ace. So that's a trio of Trip, Ace, and Demo.
okay. Ace. That's a name. It sucks,
Can
but
be a
I would
name.
let this go.
I know some trips.
Trip is a rom-com Matthew McConaughey
You
name. It
bet.
sucks, but it's the type of thing where you just say, okay.
Demo's a word.
Who
A short word for demonstration.
Yep.
or demographic, either way. Is it short for one of those things?
It just says Demo.
Can we get a birth certificate check on Mr. Who thought that as the character name? Obviously, the writers.
Obviously, Tom J. Assel and Matt Ember.
More like Tom J. Asshole.
Sweet,
Matt-
Zach.
Bad
sweet.
writer.
Yeah. And
No,
Matt
that'll
never hired again.
Okay, all right.
So all of the parents live with, I'm sorry, all of the Demo, Ace, and Trip live with their parents.
And they're 35 or up.
Yes.
According to they.
They're 35 around. And the parents are all at this backyard barbecue kind of being like, "Oh my gosh, I need to get my kids out. Why are they still here?" And this other couple that's very like
Steven
flirty.
Tobolowsky or Tobolonsky?
I don't know. He's not
Tobolowsky, yeah.
credited right now. Stephen Tobolowsky and this woman are being very flirty. They're very, very like, "Ooh, we did it and you know it." And they're like, "What's up with you guys? You're acting all happy." And they're like, "Our kid moved out." And they were like,
What's his name? Doobie? I have stupid names.
Dougie.
Dougie, okay.
Which is still not better.
Not better, but a name.
At least it's a name. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like, "Man, how'd you do it?" And they're like, "He met a woman."
he fell in love.
And a little bell goes off in Terry and Kathy's heads. They say, "Well, what if Trip met a woman?"
Yeah, kind of. What they actually say is Trip meets women all the time. And he's like, no. You got a woman who could fall in love with you. You got to meet the right,
The right
woman.
woman.
Wink, wink, wink.
immediate cut to Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yes.
Entering a furniture store.
Yeah, where
vague
Kathy
furniture
Bates
store.
and Terry Bradshaw and Matthew McConaughey are all looking at chairs.
Ah, yes. Common parent-child activity.
And they kind of like push him toward her. They're like, "Ooh, look at her. Go talk to her." And they immediately start flirting, and they immediately make plans to go out for drinks, which they do like 2 days later. But in between that time, it's revealed that Sarah Jessica Parker is a fucking con.
Oh.
She was hired by the parents to go and like make him fall in love with her so that he moves out of their house. And
Yes.
that's the plot of Failure to Launch.
Yes.
That's what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
This is her job. This is her business. She's done it to, I guess, another one of his friends. Whatever. She gets
How does she claim this on her
guys to
taxes?
move out. I guess it's like a private business.
I guess. So.
Failure to Launch LLC. We also meet Sarah Jessica Parker's roommate, who is Zooey
Is
Deschanel.
her name like Glove or something? What's
No, it's Kit. That's fairly normal.
stupid?
Yeah, but it's still like a thing.
Yeah, it's still not like Ashley.
What's her? Oh, her name is Paula. Sarah Jessica.
Yeah,
Parker.
that's
Yes, Paula, which is an old lady name.
It's an old
Very
lady
old
name
lady.
or a huskier woman's name.
You
Yeah.
I think you get the name Paula when you become an aunt.
Right.
Like, your name is like Elizabeth before that, and then once
then
you become an aunt,
immediately
that becomes your middle
Aunt Paula.
Can I get
Yeah.
a bob haircut? All right, your name is Paula now.
name. Yeah, exactly. It comes with the territory.
Or your Robin Thicke's ex-wife.
Ooh, fucking
Robin?
shots fired.
Yeah.
Paula Thicke.
Oh.
So we forget, we've talked about this, how Zooey Deschanel, people are always like, she always plays the same role. She's just quirky all the time. And people forget that for years before New Girl, which was her first really quirky role, she was always just mean in movies.
I mean, even in 500 Days of Summer, where she was quirky, she was mostly like
Mean. She was just like, I am
You
apathetic
don't
and I say
understand
sharp
me.
things, but I wear a frock. Like that
Yeah.
wasn't like she wasn't quirky.
Even Elf, she's getting mean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she's-
sad. That's like the roles she played. She was
Yeah.
kind of like
half
very
asleep.
flat. Yeah,
Right.
very flat and apathetic and like, ugh, I'm edgy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. She was edgier.
Yeah,
And then became quirky.
This is an edgy film.
yeah. She's
Because of her.
she's edgy Zooey Deschanel, and
Yeah.
her subplot is that there's this fucking mockingbird in her apartment that she wants to kill outside her
So
window.
Stupid.
That's her whole thing. If you think we're kidding and that every scene she's in doesn't include her saying, I hate that mockingbird, then you're wrong.
So Matthew and Sarah Jessica Parker go out to dinner, and it's nice. Not much more there.
Yeah.
Trip sells boats.
Yeah, he takes her out to lunch on a boat, and then he's like, "We got to throw everything out. I don't own this boat. I'm trying to sell it." And like the client who he's selling the boat for like shows up and is like, "Get off my boat, Trip."
And Sarah Jessica Parker's like, I can say boat words to make it seem like you're selling this boat to me. Wink, wink, wink.
Yarr.
And then the last sort of big thing is that Sarah Jessica Parker. No, she's not related. The last sort of big thing is that Trip, Demo, and Ace go on a bike adventure,
Hey.
and they meet a chipmunk, and the chipmunk attacks Trip.
The CGI chipmunk that they paid several $1,000s to produce that bites Trip
So stupid.
and hangs onto his hand for so long. And it's not a plot point because he bandages his hand later and it's like, I was attacked by a chipmunk. And that's all. That's
and it's not related to anything. It's so stupid.
Unless, like, maybe later in the movie, he's going to get, like, night trimmers, and he wakes up, and he looks in the mirror, and he's part chipmunk, and he's like, no! I got to get out of my house!
that it will quickly become my favorite film of all time, but the chances are slim.
So part of Sarah Jessica's plan is that like you get him to fall in love with you, you go through a traumatic experience together, you do all these things to like ensure that he'll fall in love with you and then get the confidence to move out. Blah blah blah. One of these things is the like sad experience.
Yeah.
So she stages with this vet to make it seem like she's getting her dog put down and calls Matthew McConaughey to like be there while she's sad. And she's the last time you check in, she's like to the vet, she's like, "Thanks, that'll work great. We have to cry together. It's very important." I'm like, Matthew McConaughey did not seem
He
invested.
did not. In fact,
He was just like
embarrassed.
he was like, "It's sort of early for this, but
And
I
it
guess,
is.
I guess I'll be a nice guy."
Yeah, how... They've met 3 times?
Yeah, maybe wait like 3 more dates, and then you can go through that
Yeah.
baby.
Sarah Jessica Parker says to the parents, he'll be out by June 15th.
Yes,
Now,
and
I'd like to
I
know
will
when...
not fuck my client.
Oh,
yes,
yeah, she does
yes.
not do it with him.
Ooh, what do you think will come first? Him moving out or them boning?
I think they're gonna fall in love, and she's gonna do it. But I haven't seen this.
And then he'll move in with her, and then he'll be like, "You're my new mommy."
Who do we think Kit's gonna fall in love with?
Oh, Demo or Ace?
Or
Probably-
both of them?
Oh, both of them.
The Mockingbird. I hope the Mockingbird kills her.
Yeah.
Well,
But we don't see it. We just come back into their house one day, and she's dead with peck marks all over.
Or she runs in, she's like, "It was a family of mockingbirds! Help! They've been blooded!" That could all happen. We don't know. We'll come back in a half an hour and we'll tell you what did happen. It's the Meet Cute. It's a hot take. It's
hot.
what did I do it?
you went like
You were like you exhale.
Try again.
it's
Hot.
sure.
Yeah.
All right, this is by far the most bonkers one we've watched so far in the
I
McConaughssaince.
Am in love with what has no longer become Matthew McConaughey's film. We live in some weird alternate dimension where animals are constantly attacking humans and they don't look like animals. You know those like the Yogi Bear live action movie where the animals don't quite look like animals and
It's
they're
like
always
kind of like an uncanny valley type
right,
situation.
right. That's what this is.
So last we checked in with Sarah Jessica Parker. She was being sad about the dog she was pretending to put down. So Matthew McConaughey invites her out with his friends to make her feel better. They do paintball. And there's this really long scene of her doing paintball, squealing like a
Her
pig.
hiding from paintball. Really.
Yeah.
And
Going,
then she ends up winning the match, and they're all like, "She's fucking cool."
Oh,
Yeah.
baby.
And Kit's there. Zooey Deschanel's there. She's like, "Can we go?" And then she's like, "Not until I get the nod," meaning the nod from the guys to be like, "She's cool. We like her."
And they turn to the guys, and I'm not even really joking. They're not like even nodding. They're all like bobbleheading, like,
Yeah.
yeah, we like her. She's just like us.
She a girl.
My name is Demo.
And
Here, we answered our own question very quickly.
Yeah, we
That
did.
Ace is the one who's going to be super into Zooey Deschanel.
And guess who she's into? Not Ace, Demo.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
But then she learns that Ace has a good job, makes a lot of money, and Demo has no job. And she's like, "Ah, what a choice." I'm like, they're both
Right
good-looking
choice.
guys.
Yeah.
Their names are just Ace and Demo. That's big. That's a big flaw.
So Sarah Jessica Parker is like, "Oh, Tripp's doing great. He's really breezing through these steps. He is falling for me. You know what? I think tomorrow he's going to teach me something," which I guess is one of the steps. And so we get a long scene of him teaching her how to sail. And at the end of that date, they kiss.
They eat crabs and then they kiss.
So he goes surfing with his friends, and he tells them, "Guys, it's getting too serious. We're going to need to break up. And I think I'm going to have to bring her home," because that's his move, to break up.
Yeah, he lets it unfold himself, so he doesn't have to ever have to break up with them. He's just like, "I'll just show him I live with my parents," which in the very beginning of the movie, we didn't even mention this, and we should have. One of the first lines of the fucking movie is like him talking about the girl he left, and he was like, "Oh man, you every time you get close," or it's like,
Oh, yeah.
he's
Like from a...
yeah, what does he say? Something so cliche. One of his friends.
Yeah, just like you're afraid of love.
Yeah,
man.
that's what it is. Man, you're so afraid of love.
But Edward,
Dude.
while they're on the surfboards after he makes his proclamation,
Oh,
Edward, what
boy.
happens next?
Oh, a pod of dolphins shows up. And they're like, "Look at those freaking dolphins."
So cute,
Matthew
man.
McConaughey says literally, "Hey, buddy, come over here, little boy. Come over here, my friend Dolphin." Dolphin comes over.
My Aunt Darla,
My Aunt
come over here.
"You look like Grandpa Joe. Come over here, Granny." And the dolphin literally grabs him off the surfboard and drags him, like, into the depths. And Justin Bartha's like, "What do we do? He's going to drown."
No one jumps in to help.
No. Demo's like, "It'll be fine."
He's like, haha, That's funny. And up until now, I didn't know that dolphins famously drag people to the bottom of the water because they wanted to fuck.
You bet.
That's crazy.
Yeah, none of what we just said was a joke. Like, that wasn't like a famous meet cute bit where we like make up what happened in the movie and then say just kidding and tell you what really happened.
Nope.
No, he like prompted the dolphin to come here.
The dolphin tried to drag him into the water to sexually assault him, and the friends did not care.
And Matthew McConaughey gets on the board. He's just kind of like, that was crazy.
So
He's got like a hickey on his neck. That was weird.
no reward. So we cut to him taking Sarah Jessica Parker home. All the while, by the way, you can assume between every fucking scene, there's Zooey Deschanel complaining about the mockingbird. Just assume it's happening.
And just in case you're wondering, are her scenes getting longer while everyone else's scenes are getting thinner? Yes, they are.
Yeah, like this is quickly becoming failure to kill the mockingbird because Zooey Deschanel is getting so much screen time. Like, so we will stay on track, but we're going to get there in a second.
Yeah.
Bring Sarah Jessica Parker home to the parents, and they're both very upset. The dad goes outside. Matthew McConaughey goes with him, and the mom's like, "You don't understand. He brought you here. That means he wants to break up with you." And she's like, "Not on my watch." And she has sex with him, which is like her rule.
And what does the dad say? It was something weird.
He's looking at the ceiling when they're like gonna have like they're in Matthew McConaughey's room gonna have sex, and he's sitting down there with Kathy Bates like, looking at the ceiling, and she's like, "Don't stare." And he goes, "I'm paying for it. I'm gonna stare," which is so.
I will stare if I want to.
Weird thing.
Yeah, go up and watch your son fuck that prostitute because she's a prostitute now.
Yeah, she's a prostitute.
That's what that
now.
becomes. Yeah, it's very strange. She broke her one rule. I thought she was gonna break her rule romantically later in the film, like once they're hitting it off.
She used that as a bargaining chip.
Yeah, it's just she's got no like romantic thing she won't do at this point.
Yeah, she was like, I got to bend the rules because he's gonna break up with me and I need my money. Whatever. Oh shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Meanwhile, Zooey Deschanel goes to buy a gun in what was actually a decently funny scene.
It was actually one of the only scenes I genuinely laughed in, and I think genuinely the only lines I've been laughing at so far have been Zooey Deschanel's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she goes to buy a gun from Rob Corddry, a.k.a. Hater, from What Happens in Vegas.
Woohoo!
And it's a funny scene. She's like, "How much for a box of bullets?" And he's like, "Whatever, 15."
He's like, "They're called shells, you dumb bitch."
Well, then he's like, 15 for 25. She's like, "Well, I only need one."
Yeah.
He's like,
you know, I get sad too sometimes.
It was a
like,
funny
I
exchange.
could give you a number if you need help. And she's like, of course. She's like, "No, it's the fucking mockingbird. It's my whole character."
And it's really after this point that, which also like, it's so stupid. The mockingbird thing is insane and makes no sense. But it's after this point that it basically becomes the Zooey Deschanel joint.
Yeah.
Because we spend so much more time with her and Justin Bartha trying to kill this mockingbird.
But why does she spend time with Justin Barth, though? Because he sees Sarah Jessica Parker with another client who is none other than Patton Oswalt. And she's doing the thing where it's like, "Oh, we love each other. I'm making you fall in love with me. We're talking about Star Wars. Me. Let me touch you a lot."
Move out of your house. Yeah.
Yeah, doing that thing. And Justin is like, Ace is like, well, what do we have here, you little fucking whore?
You're a girl, and he's a guy, and you touched his hand. You know what that means? Marriage. I don't go out much.
And she's like, "I'll do anything for you to not tell me." Jesus. "I'll do anything for you not to tell Trip." And he's like, "Anything?" And she's like, "Yeah, and anything is a date with Zooey Deschanel."
Right. And they go to an aquarium where I'm surprised nothing animal related happened.
Yeah, the dolphins don't come out of the
The
glasses and try to drag them down.
What if we just saw in the tank like a shark dragging Matthew McConaughey?
Wow!
He was my friend!
Then they go like out of frame, and then they come back in. He's riding the shark like, "Yeah,
I got this under control, baby." But that's not what happens. He mentions that he has a BB gun, and Zooey Deschanel's like, "Oh yeah, baby." So they go to plan to kill that mockingbird, and she kills it too hard. Wasn't the point to kill it?
Oh well, first they talk for a little bit. They bond a little. Her name is Catherine. We found out his name is. His nickname is Ace because he had an undescended testicle, and they make out, And then the mockingbird comes in, and they were like, "Oh, we just want to stun the mockingbird." And then they shoot it so freaking hard.
That they go outside and rescue the mockingbird and give the mockingbird CPR
You bet.
inside the house,
Justin Bartha sticks his whole mouth
Around the beak.
around the beak.
which he like broke open, I thought.
Yeah, it made that hereditary like cracking noise.
And then the mockingbird comes back to life and is like, "Surprise, motherfucker, I'll never die."
Flies out the house.
Well, first he bites Justin Bartha on the nose,
Yeah.
and Justin Bartha flings his head around.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then he destroys the house. And
This scene is wild. This scene really happened for 45 minutes of the whole movie.
Gosh darn long scene.
It was the third animal gag. It focused on secondary characters for so long.
I've actually forgotten where we are in terms of... Oh, no, wait. Okay, we have one more thing after this, because I totally forgot what Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew McConaughey
This was
were
most
up to.
of this third of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait. That's all that happened is she had sex with him.
No, there's one more thing.
Oh, yes, the last thing. The very last
But
thing.
yeah, but nothing
But nothing
in between
really happened. They go to a baseball game
that. Right.
with his nephew. Yes. And the nephew's like, "I want snacks." And so they...
Which
Matthew
honestly,
McConaughey-
relatable.
Same.
Ugh, classic.
Matthew McConaughey takes him up to get snacks, and while he's there, Demo, Bradley Cooper, shows up out of nowhere and is like, "So, you're dating my friend for money. I don't like it. I don't like it." And she's like, "Don't tell him." And he's like, "I won't, but I got to tell you some stuff about my friend because I don't want you
That
to
ain't
be
his
bad."
nephew.
Yeah, that's not his nephew. He says something like, as like the crowd gets louder and it starts
Right.
to tune out. We only heard because there were subtitles.
Yeah.
He says like,
You don't know
"That's-
about Amy.
Yeah, Amy was like his first love,
She
and
died 6 years ago.
Right.
So I guess that's her son.
I guess."
Yeah.
Which honestly, I'm glad there was something.
Yeah.
Like, this feels at least like, okay, someone wrote something. This isn't just a movie about trying to kill a mockingbird while a mean woman takes advantage of a man.
a poor man who lives at home with his parents.
Like, this is still a bad movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not liking it. I like it because I'm watching it with you guys, and we can all be like,
And
the fuck is
bird
this?
scene was the funniest thing I've ever
And
seen.
I have
Impossible.
these delicious green seedless grapes in the fridge that I'm about to break out. So like things are
Whoa.
okay,
Yeah.
but this movie's trash balls.
Yeah, let's go keep watching it.
Let's finish it.
All right.
Oh yeah, let's
we got
finish
one more.
this
We have
puppy.
one more act.
Wow, this is going quick, guys.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Bye.
I don't. I don't know.
I don't know.
We just finished Failure to Launch.
I don't know. Wow. What? So where did we? Okay, we left off at the baseball game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeffrey's not his nephew. It's
his-
I don't know.
It's his ex. It's his ex's. His dead ex's son.
But not his
Who
son.
cares? And
Okay, so just Sarah Jessica Parker is like, "I have to end it. I'm a bad person." And Zooey Deschanel's like, "Why the fuck do you care? He's just a client." And she's like, "Oh, maybe I want to love him."
So she's going to go break up with him, but he is playing basketball, and Demo comes up and is like, I implied I wasn't going to say anything, but she's using you. But you guys could really strike a match and get together.
He's like, "She's a fraud, but I like you two
But also
together."
keep it up.
So
Yeah.
like, why?
Like, everything she's done has been totally like a ruse, but it's also
but
kind of cute.
she's hot. So
So he cooks this big dinner, second week in a row where he's cooked a big dinner that's gone unappreciated. Because last week in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, he cooked a nice leg of lamb.
that's true.
That's true.
Tonight he cooks a big old dinner, which looked like mostly boiled vegetables.
I think it was
Like the whole montage
Yeah.
was him throwing different vegetables into different pots.
Yeah, there was like 6 pots. One was like sweet potato. One was like,
yeah.
He cracked an egg once, which notoriously doesn't really go well with vegetables and nothing else.
And he threw the shell in the sink.
Sink.
I was like, put it in the garbage. So she comes over for dinner, and she's like, we have to talk. And he's like, plenty of time to talk over dinner, but right now I'm cooking. And the parents are drinking wine. They're like, oh, what a nice surprise. He sits them all down. They're talking about whatever, and then he says something along the lines of, or you could just do whatever, and then you wouldn't have to pay her to date me anymore.
yeah, well, because he first says like,
He makes a stupid big speech.
Yeah, it makes
yeah.
a huge speech about how he's like changed over the past few weeks and how him and Sarah Jessica Parker should move in together. And they're all like, this is amazing news. We love this. And then he's like, it'll be perfect. She can move right here. We'll blow out one of the walls, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, no.
Yoink.
And then he drops it that he knows.
Yeah. And he storms out, and she follows him, gets in his car, and you know what he says?
Get the fuck out of my car.
We're not paraphrasing. He says, get the fuck out of my car.
Oh, boy.
This was back when you got one F word in a PG-13 movie.
Yeah, or else
and
it'd be an R.
they used it not even like a right way, in an almost jarring way. I was like, okay, I guess he's serious.
Yeah.
But not, I don't care. And,
Maybe it was like an accident, and they were like, well, we have one anyway, so.
Yeah.
Everyone's walked out by now, so you might as well say it.
And then after that, what even happens?
So
I haven't yet, like...
Okay, so I know
grasped it.
because we were talking about this scene because it's like, wait, they're both sad for a while.
They're both sad for a while.
They're both sad for a while. Oh, they're both sad for a while.
Oh, yeah,
including
baby.
the scene where Bradley Cooper and what's his
Justin
name?
Bartha, Ace and Demo.
Ace and Demo are like, let's go rock climbing because we do nature things together, I guess. So what's gonna happen? He's rock climbing.
and
Matthew McConaughey.
and oh boy, a chuckwalla, a lizard, comes out of the cliffside, and he bites Matthew McConaughey's hand, and Matthew McConaughey's like, yowie zowie, and he falls off the cliff
40 feet.
40 feet. And guess who laughs? If you think it's Justin Bartha or Bradley Cooper, nope, the lizard laughs. The lizard has a little
cracks
Yoda laugh. He's like,
We were screaming. Well, we saw the lizard come out. We were like, surely there's going to be another animal scene. There's got to be. And we seen a little chuckwalla crawling out. We were like, uh-oh, here it comes. Surely another animal's going to attack him. And it did.
When the lizard laughed, you should have... Haley was saying she wishes we recorded like us watching that scene, but how were we supposed to know a chuckwalla was going to come out of the side of a cliff?
wheeze with laughter.
It was insane. If any neighbors nearby were sleeping, they weren't because we were screaming at the TV.
Oh my God.
That being said,
boy.
this is a bad movie.
This is a bad...
Oh, terrible. And Bradley Cooper is like, walks this line between being like a bro and also being like really like one with nature and
Right.
like a hippie, man.
You should pick one, because he's not.
Yeah, he's like, I feel like you're not letting nature in with you, so nature's rejecting you, which is like a metaphor for. I was like, what the fuck is this?
But that's not even like a good, I don't know, theme of the movie. He's not like going against nature by.
So what is that? Sorry.
No.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, that's a weird. I didn't think of that. They're like, "Hey, you're rejecting nature, so nature's rejecting you." It's like, what's the nature?
He's
Like falling in love?
I guess.
Maybe there's
Not-
maybe
no
ignoring
sense
out
to
with
this.
his parents.
Ignoring his feelings. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know, but that's the fourth animal attack in this film. So we cut to Sarah Jessica Parker, who's all like mopey, and she gets into a fight with Zooey Deschanel, although I'm not really sure why.
Yeah, I don't really know.
She's like, I'm going to move to Colorado, and I don't know. So basically, everyone devises a plan to like get them back together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because his friends are like, you're a traitor, but we liked you together.
Right.
Yeah.
And his parents are feeling a little loopy now that he's gone. His dad
Yeah.
has like a naked room.
His naked room is his old bedroom.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey walks in. He's like, "Oh, I gotta pick up some things." And his dad is naked in his bedroom, and he's like, "Dad, why are you naked in my old bedroom?" And he's like, "It's my naked room. Look at my penis, son."
Basically.
Yeah. And then I guess Kathy Bates is like, "I don't know about your dad. What if he doesn't like me anymore?"
Now that we're alone and there's no you as a buffer between us.
Right.
And she says that with her vagina totally out. Just kidding.
Nah.
But he does have a long heart-to-heart with his father, whose penis is out the entire time.
And facing him.
It's
And-
hard to know like what we're making up and what we're not because this movie was so batshit.
Yeah.
But most of the stuff we've said, we're not making up.
Oh,
this
yeah.
That's
all
the thing.
happened.
The movie, I'm not like, oh, this was a bad movie, which it is. It's a crazy movie.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
movie was crazy.
And the pacing, so much happens with such little regard for how it should happen.
Right.
It's
And
all over the place.
None of the stuff we want to see happens. Like, we don't see them really fall in love, if ever they do.
Yeah.
Instead, we're treated to more scenes of Zooey Deschanel shooting a bird.
Which I liked it in the end.
Oh,
in the end, I was
sure.
like, maybe that was my favorite movie, was her
Was her
killing a
trying to
bird.
kill a bird.
Yeah, maybe the failure to launch was in our hearts the whole time. Because
Yeah,
The
maybe.
friendships we made along the way.
this was a lot. Then what happens?
So
Oh,
back
gosh.
to the plan.
Right.
They're like, all right, let's all meet. Kathy Bates, Terry Bradshaw, Ace Demo, and Zooey Deschanel. Let's all try, and nephew. Let's try and figure out how to get them all together. So they devise a plan that involves Zooey Deschanel tricking Sarah Jessica Parker, who's en route to move to Colorado or something.
Yeah, Colorado.
She's like, but first, before you go, I want you to look at Ace's house, which Ace, we've been ragging on him the whole time because he lives with his parents, but years ago, he bought the house, so it's his house. And he's just like,
He's
yeah,
like
I'm
letting
just
his
like,
mom live with him.
yeah, I'm just like being a good guy and like, whatever. Anyway, so he traps her in the
Yeah,
house.
They lock her in the house, and then they're like, open the closet.
Yeah, go look in the closet.
And he's tied up. Matthew McConaughey is tied up in the closet.
He's
Yep.
been beaten. They've blinded him and shaved his head for some reason.
Remember that scene in Casino Royale where
I've never seen it, but go on.
Okay, well they're torturing James Bond, and they put him in a chair that has no bottom in it,
Uh-huh.
and they take like, I guess, a cloth filled with something, and they just start beating his ball sack. That's a real thing that happens.
Oh no!
Is
Is it from the director and writer of Failure to Launch?
Yeah, it
because it
is.
sounds just as insane.
Did I say they got a thing and they beat him? No, they got a little chuckwalla, and he bites his balls.
But that's not what happens.
what
He's
happens.
just tied up with a sticky note to his forehead that says, "We need to talk," which he got tricked there. He didn't want to talk. His friends were just trapping him. And they somehow run to a nearby coffee shop.
Like a weird
with
internet cafe.
Yeah, internet cafe, I guess. With like
they have beer there too, though. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And like a big video screen, like it's IBM.
Yeah, very confusing. And they're all watching from Ace's many security and like spy cameras that he has installed in his house. What's going down between them? So all of his friends and Kathy Bates and Terry Bradshaw all watch them reconcile, basically. They fight and
Yeah.
reconcile, and it's really not worth
We
talking
don't
about.
know what they're mad about.
Like, I don't know what their conversation ends up being.
And-
it was like white noise.
Also, she was more mad at him in the beginning. He was
Right.
like, well, what do you want to talk about? She was like, you're a jackass. I'm like, you're the
Yeah.
one who is a liar.
You were paid to be his fake girlfriend.
Yeah, to like a man who lost his love a few years ago, and
Right.
the wound is still a little.
Yeah.
And Terry Bradshaw says something when they had that heart to heart along the lines of like, we didn't know how long this was going to take. We don't know what the answers are, but she did this for so and so's son, and he seems happy. So we thought maybe you'll be happy.
Actually, he says, she did it for whoever's son, and he's doing great. He lives in Seattle. He married an Indian girl.
You're right. That was the line, which was like so unnecessary.
I was like, what?
So much less.
But
than
I
what we
mean,
wanted.
we'll take representation where we can get it.
I guess.
Oh, we got our one Indian hire. No, you say the word Indian. It's two.
Oh God. Yeah, so they get into a fight and then they make up, and she's like, I wasn't faking, I really do love you, and he's like, bring it here. Kind of, he scoots on his little chair
Yeah.
that he's been tied up in, and then they kiss a lot, and everyone cheers. Everyone in the coffee shop cheers, because at this point they've taken the laptop that they were all watching the scenes on and plugged it into the giant screen in this internet cafe, and everyone's cheering
And making out with
make
everyone
it out.
else.
Cut to, I guess some time has passed.
I guess.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey has the wooden boat he's talked about
gosh.
wanting. It's called Miss Paula,
Boo.
and she's sailing, doing a great thing.
Hey, you know who else's boat is named Miss Paula? Robin Thicke.
Yeah. Because he loves his ex-wife
Yeah.
Paula.
His ex-wife.
How many albums did he sell? Like 2?
Yeah, I remember it was like an incredibly low selling, and it was right after his Blurred Lines album, which was his huge hit. The next album, it released like the next year. It was called Paula, and when it came out, because his wife had like just left him, and everyone collectively went That's creepy, and
Oh.
did not buy it.
Yikes.
And
And now he hosts The Masked Singer. Now on
does he?
Fox?
Nick Cannon hosts it.
Well, he's one of the judges. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's on now.
Okay, so
Like right now?
Not that any of us watch it.
the album
I've
debuted
watched-
at
Oh,
number
yeah.
9 on U.S. Billboard 200, selling 24,000 copies in the first week of release. The album only sold 530 copies in the UK, 550 in Canada, and 158 in Australia in its debut week.
That's a more interesting story than the plot of this film.
Yeah, the rise and fall of Robin Thicke by his own weird accord. Yeah. So they're on a boat. He gets knocked over. Dolphin shows up.
Of course it does, because he gets knocked
You
in the
bet.
water, and we're like, where's that dolphin coming?
And it's
The dolphin has a knife in his mouth, which I thought was a weird choice.
Not
No,
true. We
he
can't.
doesn't.
The thing is, we can't make these things up because everything we've said sounds crazy, and most of it has been real. So we have
yeah.
to only tell the truth from here on out because there's so little left of this crazy movie.
It's true.
that is true.
Instead, the dolphin doesn't attack him. The dolphin is like, I like you. We're
now."
friends.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, this is great. And she's like, do you need this flotation device? He's like, nah, I'm good. I'm really good. And then the movie ends
Yep. And then
because animals are a metaphor for happiness
I
and
guess.
love.
And he doesn't need
Wow.
the flotation device of his family anymore. Who cares?
Boo.
Who cares? And then we're treated to 3 mid-credit scenes.
Yes, we are.
Justin Bartha and Zooey Deschanel like birds now. They go
Yeah, they're
bird
bird watching
Who
and-
gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's this kind of bird. And she's like, you wouldn't be more wrong if you said Canada goose. And he says like, what? Oh, I'll give you a Canada
Yep.
goose. Which is like, why would you save that for the end or any part of the movie?
Yeah. And she's like, you dummy. But then they make out anyway.
Right,
Bradley
yeah.
Cooper is in the Amazon
With
his
one of
new
the waitresses.
Yeah, with his new girlfriend. And what happens? An animal gag.
Yeah.
He
A
gets
little monkey comes strolling down the jungle.
and like smacks him or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like, if you just accept. No, he doesn't talk like Matthew McConaughey. He's like,
just wanna
hey,
get
man,
another
if you
look at this
accept nature, nature will accept you, yo. And the monkey like climbs on his back and gives him a little whack on the head.
The
Like
monkey
a
goes,
little.
"You're in my jungle. Watch how I'm a monkey. I will come slap you. I'm a monkey."
Wow, Bradley Cooper's career has really grown.
Yeah.
He's a
Honestly,
raccoon
nothing
now.
bad to say about Bradley Cooper.
None.
And then this last scene.
Terry Bradshaw and Kathy Bates are naked in bed, and they're singing
Hit
"Hit
the road trip.
Rip.
And don't you come back no more.
They aren't even rhyming.
Yeah, they just
more.
replaced the word. They were so
Right.
elated that he's finally gone.
Yeah.
That,
And they get to do it in their marital bed.
Probably, yeah.
And then the actual Ray Charles song comes on, and the credits play, and that's failure to launch.
That's the film.
So,
Oh man.
this movie was fucking nuts. I honestly do recommend you watch it.
But skip over all of the Matthew McConaughey and Sarah Jessica Parker stuff.
Yeah, animal scenes only, please.
We're gonna take a brief break and go fucking take a nap. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna rate this puppy. It's the meet cute. It's failure to launch. It's a hot take. It's
Hot.
all right. So we're back and we're gonna rate this. I have a feeling it'll be low.
I don't know what makes you say that.
And we're gonna be rating it today out of Chuckwalla Bites.
No, Chuckwalla giggles.
Oh yeah, sorry. We're gonna be rating it today out of Chuckwalla Giggles, which is
That's exactly how it was.
so. First up is chemistry. I'm gonna come out and just say 0 because there was none.
None, totally?
Oh no, a hard 0
Why?
on my end.
Yeah,
think
well,
there's-
no, you know what? Here's the thing. They didn't work extremely well together. There was nothing between them. And also, like, every time there was a scene where they were doing something cute together, in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, well, she's pretending. So this is her acting. So 0.
Oh,
Yeah, 0. There was no chemistry.
0.
I was more confident in saying 0 to their chemistry than I have been with like a lot of choices I make on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like this, it felt. I was like, yeah, it's 0.
It took me harder to pick out what I was going to wear today.
Even worse than, like, Pierce Brosnan and...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We probably gave that like a 0 or 0.5. This was worse.
Yeah,
There was nothing.
It was just... Okay, go on.
Best friends 1.
So for Zooey Deschanel, actually, I think I'm scoring her. I would score her pretty high. The boyfriends were just annoying.
Yeah, they didn't. They added up to like one.
I thought they were like a one. Actually, it all averaged out to one for me. I didn't like Zooey Deschanel's character. She didn't have good advice for Sarah Jessica Parker. Her whole thing was like, "You fucking suck."
Yeah, but it was funny. So who cares?
I didn't laugh.
I'm gonna do 3.
All right.
Wow. I'm gonna go right in the middle and do a 2. Just could have been better. Nobody was like good to anyone else.
It didn't work for me on any. They just were all unlikable, and they didn't really even feel like the male friends felt like they at least kind of served their purpose of being like,
Right.
come on, you can't, whatever. And they literally are like almost referred to as like his friends like the entire time.
I mean, they have fake names.
Yeah, but they were just so unlikable, and I don't know. The fact that they get them back together at the end just felt like it didn't feel like clever at all in the way they get back together. So who cares?
Let's move on.
Next is romance, which is also going to be a 0.
Yeah.
What about this was romantic? At no point, there wasn't even a point where like they kind of started to fall for each other, and like a turning point or a sweet moment where you're like, oh, they're together
This
now.
is real. Yeah.
That never happened for me. There was
Not at all.
nothing here.
0.
I think the boat scene is supposed to be that, but it's
Yeah,
not.
but even so, that was her like, he's teaching me something.
Right,
It was
right,
like
yeah.
fake then too. So 0.
0.
Wow.
And comedy.
Okay, so now
Here's where it gets a 5.
here's what we have to talk about. Now, every single biting of an animal scene was hysterical. Was it hysterical the way they wanted us to laugh at it? Or was it hysterical because it's the worst thing I ever saw?
I don't know.
This is why I'm conflicted, because there was one scene I was genuinely laughing, and that was Zooey Deschanel with Rob Corddry, and then they like wrote too much. It was like funny, and they should have stopped the scene.
Yeah.
But then they were like, let's milk this for 8 more minutes.
Oh, they're funny people.
So unintentionally funny, I'd give it a 5, but that's not the rating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 1 because I think those scenes were meant to be legitimately, haha, he got bit by an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like
that's-
second grade.
And we were
Yeah.
laughing at it because, oh my God.
They made a movie where
Adults wrote this. So I'm giving it a 1 because there were a few tiny, tiny things that I said, ha.
you
but-
did. There was one in this last third that you literally went.
Oh, it
I
was,
can't remember what it is.
I do. It was, the boy was like, I helped tie those knots. This one's called like a fisherman's hitch or whatever. I made that knot up. And the dad goes, I could get out of that. And Kathy Bates goes, you can't get yourself out of your barbecue robe. And Zach laughed.
Yeah, it wasn't funny, but I don't know. I liked it.
I was like, oh, you like that one?
I feel like
You
one
like
day I'll be Kathy Bates in that relationship. I'll be like, you fucking idiot.
that? Okay.
So that'll be a 1.
Yeah, I guess I agree with you. Maybe like a 1.5. Because Zooey Deschanel made me laugh. Edward?
Yeah, give me a. I don't know, because that's so hard. I can't.
It's hard to separate the
Separate
intentional funny with the unintentionally the funniest thing I've ever
because
seen.
we did laugh a bit, but not for any of the right reasons. So I don't know. What did you do, Haley?
1.5.
Oh, give me a 1.5 as well, just for the memory of it.
I mean, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen,
Oh,
but
gosh. But was it a good funny? No.
no.
Now, finally, something we do have to talk about, the McConaughey factor.
Oh yeah.
I got my score.
I have an opinion. Yeah.
You guys share. I mean, I'll be convinced. Go.
All right, Edward, after you.
Okay. Well, one thing we discuss a lot in the McConaughey factor is can anyone else play this
him?
role?
Yeah.
My answer for this film, yes, because he showed up so infrequently, and he, in fact, it stopped becoming their film after a bit, and so they could have put any other like handsome-y.
I don't think
guy.
it needed to be Matthew McConaughey because it could have just been a cute guy. You know, he had like no real personality other than I want a boat.
I like boats.
Yeah, and he wasn't like a character enough to be smarmy or anything. So I don't know, maybe like a 1.
But Zach, you
I'm going to give it a 4.
Whoa.
Because I do agree that someone else could have played him, but I think for what we got a lot of McConaugheyisms that
Yeah.
we wouldn't have gotten from another person.
That's fair.
So it's not like it was totally his role that we couldn't get anyone else, but I think he brought a lot of him to it. in his delivery and in his kind of like dopey, like, what I do kind of when he was doing something stupid. So because of that, I think it was pretty Matthew McConaughey of him. So a 4.
I will say this aligns much better with my idea of Matthew McConaughey than, say, like some of the other movies we've seen where he's much more businesslike.
Mm-hmm.
Here he's got, his shirt's unbuttoned. He's like, I love crabs and I love boats and my dad's Terry Bradshaw. So, this is how I picture my Matthew McConaughey. So, yeah, give me a 3.
Bump me up to a 2. For no reason other than Eddie convinced me a little bit that, he was just like guy at a crab shack.
Yeah.
All right, so we're just going to add these up real quick. So it is 6.3. Chuckawuka, what is it?
Chuckwalla giggles.
Chuckwalla giggles out of 25. Or
I hate this system.
25.33 out of 100.
Which means 23%.
25.
Oh, sorry.
3%, yeah.
Which sounds about right. This was out of possibly 100 Chuckwalla giggles. 25.33. This was, it's weird. I don't know how this racks up. I don't remember what we rated Some Kind of Beautiful, but those were the 2 worst so far. I think this was the worst one we've watched in my head. Maybe it's because it's so fresh.
I think Some Kind of Beautiful was way worse just because
I think that
there
was more boring. At least.
It was boring. This at least I had fun.
And this was short.
And I liked Zooey Deschanel's really, really dumb plot. Stupid, and you know what?
To kill that bird.
I enjoyed it at the end of the day.
I'm glad one of us had to. I don't know about. I can't speak for Edward, but man, I didn't care for that.
I just want to know who made the puppets of the animal and what they're doing with their life. I hope they're okay.
I gotta go to bed soon. What's this game you've got for us?
All right, so we've got one more segment here. We've got a round of America's favorite game show, Sarah Jessica Parkour. I think we have a song.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah Jessica Parkour.
Cool. So the way this works is I have a bunch of quotes. Some are from actress Sarah Jessica Parker. Some are from famous parkour athletes, which is a real thing. I looked it up, and I found a lot of quotes from many of them. So I'm going to read one out loud, and Edward and Haley are going to buzz in with a buzz noise. Give me your buzz noise one time. Beep-boo. And when they buzz in, they're going to have to tell me whether it's a quote from Sarah Jessica Parker or a famous parkour athlete.
Great.
Whoever gets the most points wins the opportunity to host a solo episode on 2018's Suspiria. I'm just kidding. That probably won't happen.
It'll be you anyway.
They win. Yeah, I'm going to do it. They win bragging rights. So let's get this game started. Here is the first quote, and please wait until I'm done before you buzz in.
Okay.
Obstacles are found everywhere, and in overcoming them, we nourish ourselves. I heard Edward first.
Rude.
Well, my guess is going to be Sarah Jessica Parker.
I was going to say, you should have let me give my answer. I would have said parkour.
I thought it would be a trick question because you said obstacles. Oh, you trickster.
Yeah, parkour.
Wait, can you tell us who said it?
David Bell.
Oh, I knew it. Had you said Sarah Jessica Parker or David Bell?
All right, ready for the next quote?
Yeah.
So many roads, so many detours, so many choices, so many mistakes. Haley?
Sarah Jessica Parker?
Ding, ding, ding. Sarah Jessica Parker.
2 points for Haley.
When did she say that?
Don't know.
Oh, that is another question. Are these from her movies?
Or is this from Sarah,
I think
Sex and the City?
I think it's a mix of famous characters and things in interviews.
Okay.
Maybe our mistakes are what make our fate. Haley?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Ding, ding, ding.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a Sex and the City line.
Yep. I don't judge others. I say if you feel good with what you're doing, let your freak flag fly. Haley?
Sarah Jessica Parker?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her. Wait, I feel like was that in a movie that we watched?
I don't know.
I've heard that quote before.
The best part of falling is getting back up again.
Bee-boo.
Edward?
I'm just going to guess parkour.
Parkour.
Yeah, it's a parkour
right,
guy.
First, do it. Second, do it well. Third, do it well and fast, and that means you're a professional.
Wah, wah.
Haley?
I did your noise accidentally. Parkour.
Parkour, yeah.
Was it good old Davy Bell again, or was it Stephen Bing?
That was David Bell.
Oh,
Most of these are David Bell.
Baby.
I don't believe in email. I'm an old-fashioned girl. I prefer calling and hanging up.
Bee-boo, that better be Parkour. It's Parker.
It's Parker, yep. We are, what's the score, 2-4?
I have a keeping score.
2-4. Why not?
I've done a lot, yeah.
All right, we got a few more left. Let me see, hold on. Just go and do, and don't think so much about it. Just make something interesting. Haley?
Parkour?
Yep, and that was George Balanchine.
Oh, classic.
Him.
Yep.
I'm gonna beast you at this game, Eddie.
When it comes to life,
You are.
when it comes to life, why do we believe our worst reviews?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yep. All right, guys, we've got just 3 more. Okay. And you know what? For the sake of it, let's wipe that clean.
What? Why? No.
Because one of you's gonna win now.
Not.
So we
No,
got 3
we're not
left.
doing that. I'm
It
winning.
is.
I'm winning. Rude.
All right.
I never win anything.
Try not to get something right. Try to never get something wrong.
Bee-boo.
Go ahead.
Oh, gosh. Well, see, if you get something wrong in parkour, you're dead. So I'm just going to say Parker.
It's David Bell.
It's David. Oh, David, you tricked me.
Haley, this one could be for the win. If you
Zach, I already won.
I lost where I was. I'm sorry. When men attempt bold gestures, generally it's considered romantic. When women do it, it's often considered desperate or psycho.
Bee-boo.
You had to wait till he was
Parker.
done. That's Parker.
That is Parker. And our last one for the win. I'm calling it now. This is for the win.
Okay,
Are you ready?
Okay.
Parkour. Well, not time.
I'm sorry. I thought that was the whole thing.
No.
Michael Scott.
Parkour isn't just a hobby or something you do for fun. It's something that you build into your bones. It's something that you train every day for. It's something that you breathe, something you think of, something you sleep with. Parkour isn't something you do for fun YouTube videos or something you do to get a quick check in a competition. Parkour is who you are, and if you're not parkour, you shouldn't try it. Haley?
Parkour.
Shockingly, yes.
I win.
That is
I
from
win.
the Sarah
Ding,
Jessica
ding, ding.
Parker film.
Well, congratulations, Haley. So we'll just keep recording, and you can start the Suspiria episode.
No, that movie was so bad. If there's a movie I recommend less than this movie, it is 2018's Suspiria. That was garbage, and the dancing in it is bad. Anyway, watch this movie. It was really funny, unintentionally.
No, don't watch this.
No.
movie.
No, you
no,
should
no.
watch this movie.
No, watch it with friends.
Yes,
that
that's still
you
watching
don't
it.
Love.
And like
that's so mean. I love you
like
guys.
Dominoes and
Yeah, like
whiskey. I don't know.
lots.
Guys,
Which we didn't do, but that'd be
The
great.
animal scenes are so funny. Okay, we gotta
Unintentionally.
go. I gotta go to bed. This took a few years off of my life, but I'm still here.
This has been our review of Failure to Launch. If we got anything wrong, if you love the animal scenes, actually no, we love them.
We-
Let me start that over.
If you loved anything else, I guess.
If we got anything wrong, if you loved anything that wasn't an animal scene, or if you just got thoughts, feel free to get at us at MeetCuteCast on Instagram and Twitter, or at themeetcutecast@gmail.com. We're always listening. Tune in next week for another round of the McConaughssaince.
The last one?
No, we've got 2 more.
Oh, good God.
I know, what a month. And again,
What a month and a week.
and thank you so much for listening. My name is Zach.
I'm Haley.
I'm Edward.
It's
Hot.
good night.